Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Here I am coming from the salon. So I know I'm not sure if I said it on YouTube yet or not, but I said it over on the TikTok world that I was considering going to another salon. Well, I'm not. I'm getting a remodel in here. So as nice as it already is, it's going to be even better. And I'm going to work on a wall to be my backdrop for when I film. So there's that. But that being said, there can sometimes be some sound in the background. I do have my little microphone that is supposed to cut out a lot of the sound, but it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. So there may be a door slamming in the background. You may hear a voice here and there. That's just is what it is. So yeah, here I am filming I guess it's a makeup tutorial, get ready with me kind of a situation. I have some new palettes. I know I said I wasn't going to be buying any for a long time, and I didn't for quite a while, but I found some new indie palettes that I kind of love. And so now I'm not going to be buying any for a while. I might get a single shadow or two here and there, but there's still the issue of if I'm getting a full palette, it needs to be something that I'm going to use all of. This one I have found that I use all of it. This is from Angelica Nyquist. She has a brand called Singe Beauty. Here's the cover. It's really pretty. Ignore my nails. They need to be done again. It's called the Huldra palette. And the colors are gorgeous. I love that one right there in the center, but I'm loving all the purples and greens, all that kind of stuff. Today, I'm going to do a look with this row of greens right here, give or take a thing or two. So that's the main palette that I'm going to use today. The other one is my homemade palette. So this is where I bring in the singles. I love single shadows. So mermaidy on the outside. The inside, it's a little bit of a mess, but you know. So right there we go. So these are all Natasha Denona. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 shades are Natasha Denona. I believe 1, 2, 3 are, I can't remember the name of it right now. I forget the name of the company. I wonder if I can take it out and see it. Oh, no. Leave it to me to drop some things. I forget the name of the company right now, but maybe I'll think of it next time I see you guys or before this video ends. So those 3 are from one company. These 3 are from Gourmand Girls. Diveroon. So 1, 2, 3 Diveroon. 1, 2, 3 Gourmand Girls. The rest of these are Sephora Single shadows. So I use those sometimes to make a whole look, but sometimes to supplement. Yeah. But you know, I use these a lot. These two here. Those are my neutral shades, which not every palette has neutral shades. So the Huldra palette does, but she's a really light one right there. So that's a neutral. It's really light. It's called Entrance. I think when I don't have a tan, I do have a tan right now. When I don't have a tan, that might be a good base. But for now, I have to go slightly darker for that base. Yeah, so here we go. So I'm going to do a green look today. I'll talk about everything that I'm using as I go. We'll see what else might come up. Yeah. So I'm going to use this blush palette today, but it's also going to be my mirror. This is the, who makes it? Eloise Secret Garden 3D Blush and Glow palette. It's actually a really pretty, good for summer, spring and summer kind of blush and highlight palette. I use this one a lot, but I only use a little. I don't dip into a lot of it. Anyway, that's going to be my mirror. So you'll see me holding that up as my mirror here and there. And I'm going to start with my eye brightening eye cream. This is the Ginseng from Origins. There it is right there. So Origins is an Estee Lauder brand, and I kind of am choosing not to use a lot of the really kind of high-end giant brands right now. So I'm kind of staying somewhat away from, I guess it's like the 3 big brands, but I have stuff still. I'm not going to waste what I already have, so I am using them. But Origins and Aveda I've kind of gotten away from because I just don't align with the huge corporations. I prefer to work with a little more indie. It doesn't have to be like super indie, but a little more indie. Anyway, this is kind of has a little tone to it. It's brightening for the under eyes. So I'm going to put it here and here. So today, got the hair pulled back. Thursdays I go to someone's house and do a reformer private session. So you guys, if you don't know, I do teach Pilates. Pilates is my other gig, Pilates and yoga, mostly Pilates, reformer and mat. So I taught somebody in the morning, and then I teach a mat class at the studio that I work at. And that studio is really warm. So even if I cool the room next door is the hot yoga room. So even if I cool the room, we still get the humidity. So I get all sweaty. I don't wear makeup to that class, and I don't do my hair for that one. So today I'll end up wearing my little hat when I start working, just because that's my stylish thing when I don't have the ability to do my hair really well. My cream I'm putting on today is the Ginseng Oil-Free Energy Boosting Gel Moisturizer. That's there. Both of these I got in a subscription box, so it's probably not something I would have chosen to purchase in store. But it works. It's nice. And it's a gel version, so it soaks in really well. It doesn't get greasy. So the gel versions tend to not get so greasy. Now I will say, one brand that is one of the big brands that I do tend to love, and they still are their own company. I don't think anybody else owns them. I don't think one of the big like L'Oreal or Estee Lauder owns them. Chanel. Ultra La Teinte Velvet. It's going to look backwards, but that's what it looks like. Discontinued, gone. Can't get it no more, so I have another whole one waiting to be used. Yes, I am that person. When I love something and they discontinue it, I make it happen. I buy as many as I can. And those are $50, so I only bought 2. I like to mix it. And this is with L'Oreal, and actually for drugstore, I actually do use some L'Oreal. L'Oreal True Match Nude. That's this guy here. I actually love this stuff. I hate the packaging. And I think every influencer I've seen use it has hated the packaging. Look how messy and nasty that gets. It's a dropper. So you have to do that, and you have to pull it out. It's not nice. You know, another one of my makeup influencer friends had mentioned there's a place on Amazon you could go get a pump for these. I just haven't. I've been lazy to go find what it was, find the exact link. So I've just been using the messy bottle, but I like them mixed together because that Chanel is a very matte. It's almost like the Chanel is too matte sometimes, and the L'Oreal is too glowy. So when I mix them together, it makes almost like a semi-glow. So nothing too crazy, not too matte, not too shiny. And yes, I'm a hands girl. When I'm putting on my Ooh, I didn't bring brushes. This is gonna be a finger makeup kind of day. All right, I forgot my brushes. This will be fun. We're gonna go with it because that's just how we roll. I've got these little micellar wipes. I get them from 360. They're from 365. They sell 365 at Whole Foods. They're actually quite inexpensive. I used to use I'm using them to wipe my hands off. I used to use call it, yes, to cucumbers, but they stopped making them just out of the blue, just stopped making them. So I had to do some research and I couldn't find for the longest time something that was really similar, but that turned out to be similar. So, and it's only $4 for a pack, which even the yes to cucumbers was like $6. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now this is turning into a hands only, no brushes makeup challenge. So that wasn't the goal, but you know, we gotta roll with what we got. One of my favorite concealers, Haus Labs. I think my color is, the light, 21 light medium neutral. And it's really mostly, I use it here. I'm gonna have some discoloration here. I'm not really, I know I need it, but I have not found a liking to putting concealer under my eyes because it just brings out every single line. And yes, I have lines. I am 48 years old. And we started to get some lines at 48 years old. So, you know, it is what it is, but I don't want to put anything on my eyes that's going to enhance those lines. And I'm yet to find something that doesn't sink in to those lines and crease. And no matter what anybody tells me, I don't think it exists. I mean, I will try things. If you have ideas, I will try things. But again, I don't think it exists. So since I don't have my brush, I'm just going to tap this in. And I'm going to kind of tap around it because I don't want to tap the center too much because that will remove the product. Except for over here, I might tap a little more, but I'm still gonna go a lot around it. And I might move up to that under eye a little bit when there's barely anything left. But for the most part, I don't like to. So yeah, I'm gonna look crazy for a minute. That's okay. I wonder how this is gonna work with no brushes. Wiping off my finger again. So yeah, I don't know exactly when it's gonna happen yet, but I'll be getting new floors in here right now. I don't know if you can see them. You can see them a little bit. I have a really rustic looking floor, which isn't a terrible thing, except that it's really old. And it just always looks dirty to me, no matter what I do. Always, always, always looking dirty. So I think it'll be nice to get the new floor. It's gonna look kind of like a dark concrete. It's kind of like cracks in the concrete. It's cute. And then I have some fixtures in here that are white, and I don't like white. And so they're gonna be replacing the fixtures, but they might, if I don't get what I want, if they don't have what I want, because I still have to go with what they have and what they do, I might end up with white again, which I don't want, but there's also a chance I could cover it with something. But I have to be careful because if I cover it with something that doesn't remove well, then I will lose my deposit. Or I may have to, it may cost more than my deposit and I may have to pay for it. So I have to be careful with that idea too. So I can't like paint it or do anything like that. It has to be something that can just be removed. All right, so now I'm gonna go into that Huldra palette. I haven't done eyeshadow with my hands in a long, long time. All right, so I'm gonna start with the lighter green color right here. It is called Guardian. All right, so going into my bronzer. This will be interesting. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll skip bronzer today since I'm gonna need I really need a brush for bronzer, so I'm gonna skip that for today. I'm gonna go right to my cream blush. This is Orgasm by Nars. This is one, so I'm not fully doing a project pan, but this is one that might be considered like a project pan kind of thing. I'm trying to get through it. It's nice. It doesn't show up that much, so it looks like it would show up a lot more, but it really doesn't show up that much and doesn't last that long, which for Nars prices, I really feel like we need longevity and we need to show on the skin. So I'm going to tap this in with my finger, which maybe if I tap this in with my finger, it'll show up more and last longer. Who knows? No, see it disappearing. There's not a whole lot left. And I do like a little on my nose. I'll go in. I am a blush up high kind of girly, because I feel like I have a pretty round face and I have nice high cheekbones, but I like to enhance those cheekbones towards the top of them. Yeah, see how that disappears? But I'm gonna put blush over it too. I feel like if I do both, it'll last a lot longer. So I'm gonna go into this little guy here. I'm gonna try it with my fingers, see how it goes. And I'm just gonna tap it on gently. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Can go on a little patchy without the brush, I feel like, but it's working. Eyeshadows next. All right, so I'm starting with, I think since I'm going with greens today, I'm going to start with that neutral guy there. That looks like another project pan, but I will replace that one when it's done. I actually really like that one a lot. And I'm just going to put that all over my lid. The cool thing about makeup is you can experiment, you can play, but if something doesn't work out, you can always take it off. So that's why I'm over here like, hey, I forgot my brushes, but why don't we do an experiment and play and see what we can come up with. There's that green. I'm just putting it all over my lid. It's a pretty green. Makes my brown eyes pop. I'm gonna go into a darker green right there. And that, I'm gonna try to get closer to the outer edge. And maybe try to blow it out and up a little bit. I'm always amazed with how much we actually can blend with our fingers. It's like I don't do it too often because I have so many brushes and the brushes are really fun to play with. But that's actually going really well. And now I'm going to take a clean finger and just kind of blend that out. Soften it up a little bit, blend it out. I also find when fingers are used for eyeshadow, you're going to get a little more color payout, a lot more color payout. Where brushes, you're going to get a lot softer of a look. Not bad. I think Angie Nyquist would be kind of proud that I'm going this strong, because normally I don't go this strong with my eyeshadows. This is strong. She's very into intense colors on the eyes, so she would probably say like, that's not strong. I got a mess on the sides. You guys see that mess? I'm gonna clean that up in just a minute, but first I'm gonna put in my shimmer. Going with this little guy here. That is called Temptation. Forest Spirit was that darker green, so putting on Temptation. Same thing, going in with my finger. It's like a shimmer, but it's not quite as a glittery shimmer as some of the others. I'm gonna pop that right in the middle. These are very soft, very smooth eyeshadows. I kind of love that. I love that color too, that's so pretty. Kind of has a little forest nymph thing going on here, right? Kind of goes with that Huldra chick who, there's a whole story around her. I wouldn't do it justice, so you could look it up if you want to, but it has to do with the forest and trees. And I think she had a problem with men and kind of dealt with it. So I'm gonna go into my color, that entrance color, that little really kind of white light color. Oh. You know what? I had green on my finger still, so I'm gonna take that, wipe that off. I'll go in with a different finger. And this one's gonna go up over, and I'm gonna do some blending up high. That's a really, really strong color when you use your finger. It's definitely got a lot of color payout for a creamy color. And it's a little much, so I'm gonna actually grab a piece of tissue. This is something you can do if you're stuck using your finger with some shadow and it's too much. Just grab that tissue and kind of blend it out a little more, and that'll kind of shear it out more. See, it's on the tissue. Clearly a color that was meant to put on with a brush, but that's okay, because we're still looking pretty good. I'm gonna blend that green out even more. I'm covering up your view, sorry. Just blending that up a little bit. Cute. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into Wish, this little color down here. So I've used everything in that green line except the very dark one, which I would use for a liner, and I don't really have the ability. So maybe after I put my liner on, I'll go in with that a little bit. But for now, I'm gonna go into Wish and paint that on the inner corner with my finger. I love glitter. Glitter makes me happy, but I am going to soften that up a little bit with my tissue. Normally I would use a brush and kind of shear it out a little bit. Going in with the tissue this time. All right, really overdid that green on the bottom. So I'm just gonna grab my wipey and just go in and soften that up a little bit. And then clean up those edges. This is probably gonna be one of those few times I go in with concealer on the edge And man, if I had some big dramatic lashes, this would be the time for that, but I don't. So we'll just do some mascara today, do some liner. All right, so I'm gonna go in just a tiny bit of that dark green. It's called Charcoal Kiln, right there. And then just tap tiny bit on that very edge. Trying to keep it as close in towards that eyelid as possible. Hard to do with just a finger, but you guys get the idea. All right, so I am gonna go in with my concealer. Why did I put my mirror away? I do need a close-up mirror. I'm gonna go in with my concealer and just hit these edges. And then I might have to go in back in a little with the blush. I'm making a mess. See, not used to no brushes. Making a mess here. But look how much better that is on that side. So, I learned today, and I did not know this, that a very good tool, if you don't have brushes around and you have to do your makeup with your fingers, is tissue. All right, pretty clean on both sides. Gonna go back in with a little bit of that blush. So I do like my blush to go all the way up there. And I wiped it off. Well, one thing I will say, two things to have around if you're doing your makeup with your fingers. One is your wipe, your makeup remover wipe, because it's great for getting your fingers clean in between. And the other is a tissue, both great things to have around. Now I did end up with a little green underneath on the bottom lid, but it doesn't bother me. I'm kind of okay with that. So I'm gonna move on from here and go into my liner. So I'm gonna start with my brown liner, and this is another Project Pan moment. That's all the way up. That's all that's left. Brown liner is gonna be my tight line, so it's going in under my lashes. And gosh, another couple uses, this is gonna be all gone. I enjoy when I can finish a product. It doesn't happen very often. Makeup products, just know, like if you go out and buy makeup products, and this is why I'm kind of in this phase of life where I don't buy as much makeup. It lasts forever. Everything lasts forever. The few things lately that I've seen that don't last forever sits mostly in like the lip gloss world. So there's some lip glosses out there that I found I go through pretty quickly. That's fine, whatever. But I do find that if I'm going through a lip gloss really quickly, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. So I do tend to do a lot more drugstore, or some of the indie lip glosses don't cost a ton of money, so I'll do that. I'm gonna go in, this is my favorite liner pen. This is the Tattoo liner from KVD. I know a lot of people don't use KVD anymore, but You know, Kat Von D is actually no longer involved in the company. And I don't know what happened with her that people were mad at her, but people weren't wanting to use the product. And it's kind of come to a point where they don't even sell it at Sephora anymore. So when I order it, I just order online. You know, not a big deal. I'm going to go in and just do a finer line. And this takes practice. And I can't talk, so I'm just going to go through, and I'll probably fast forward in the when I'm editing. I'll probably fast forward through this part, so you can see me doing it. Well, I can't talk about it. So, yeah, I'm learning the greens really make my eyes pop. I like how they make my brown eyes look more brown. A lot of people are talking about eye maxing lately, which is where you're putting on colors that make your eyes, putting on colors that make your eyes pop insanely. I feel like the greens do that for me, and I've only recently dabbled in the green eyeshadow since I got this one, and her other one, Paisley Hoot, has a lot of greens in it too, and I kind of like it. I didn't think I would like using green eyeshadow. I thought green would make me look sick. If it makes me look sick, let me know, but I'm not feeling like it is doing that to me. I want to do a little bit of highlighter. I'm going to skip the bronzer today because I don't know that I can do that really well with my fingers. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little highlighter. Where did I put my highlighter? Right here. So lately, this is my favorite highlighter, and I'm going to use this till it runs out. This is Natasha Denona Pastel Plexi Glow Highlighter. I think it only comes in the one color, but it says Light Affected. That's the package. See if I can do this without blinding you. That's the color. It's very bright in the light. It's not a chunky glitter. It's more of just a really nice shimmer and glow. So it'll make it glow. And let's see how this goes, putting it on with my fingers. I'm just going to put it on the high points of my cheek. Okay, so one thing I will say, putting on my concealer with my brush covers this better. It's there, it's gonna be there. I'm gonna put a hat on, it's not gonna be that noticeable, so it's fine. But just know that concealing things might work better with a brush because it leaves a better veil on top where your finger kind of can easily take things off. And I think that's one of the reasons I like doing my foundation with my fingers, because I don't want a heavy foundation. I want a light foundation. I don't want it to meld with my skin, and when I put it on with my fingers, it melts with the skin really well. Powders don't always do that as well. Yeah. That's a pretty highlight. A little on the nose, a little on the bridge, a little up here. All right, so I guess all I have left to go is mascara and lip gloss, which I might have to step away to find the lip gloss in a minute. So starting with mascara, I'm using two, and I've just found a love for these two together. I don't like either of them separately. Well, I mean, this one's fine separately, but I feel like I get the drama when I mix the two. So if I'm having a day that I just want to have a little bit, the Thrive, I don't know, a lash extension mascara or something like that. In Bryn, it's the black. I feel like by itself, it's a nice soft. I don't like building it up on top of itself because it gets clumpy. But I always have it. And I like mixing it with the Essence Lash Princess, which is funny because that's like a much less expensive product. So I'm gonna come closer to do this part. So that's just one layer, and I don't have the longest eyelashes in the world, but you can see one to the other, there's a pretty good difference. So that's my first layer. I'll put my second layer on, show you guys what I'm talking about. What I find too is if I layer a more dramatic mascara on top of a tubing mascara, the tubing mascara covers the lashes first, and I get that effect where it doesn't slide off easily, but it comes off easily when I'm trying to get it to come off. So I think that's why I like that tubing mascara underneath. I wonder if that would work with a waterproof. I haven't tried that, but maybe soon. There it is. There's the lashes. Again, I don't have super dramatic lashes. They're enough. Just like, you know, anything else. They're enough. They're fine. I'm happy to have lashes. I did lash extensions at one point and they were beautiful, but they're so hard to maintain and they're not comfortable. Especially when I'd wake up in the morning and I'm rubbing my eyes and all of a sudden I've got a triple lash piece in my eyes. I don't like that. But, you know, so I just go with what I have. I also don't feel like I want to do lash extensions every 2 weeks. I think that's a lot. All right, so I'm gonna go get my lip gloss and I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so here I am, I'm back. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna start with my Makeup Forever Endless Cacao. And I've gotten this in their regular version. I don't love the long-lasting version because I don't reapply a lot. So throughout my day, I might not reapply. And then if I don't reapply and that stuff's still on, it just kind of looks weird. But you notice on camera, so off camera, I have an upper lip. On camera, my upper lip disappears. So I will likely overline a little bit. See, all of a sudden I have an upper lip. And I'll keep the lines regular on the bottom lip so it doesn't look like a dramatic difference. And then I'll just kind of smooth that in a little bit. These, I don't know if they were meant to have a flavor, but they kind of, or a smell, but they kind of smell like vanilla. Yeah. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they're meant to, but they do. So this is a new one that I love. This is from Blend Bunny. It's from the psilocybin collection, which you'll see me do a video. You're gonna see me do a few videos on the psilocybin palette because there's a lot of colors in it. That's got like, I think like 36 colors. I may be over exaggerating, but it's got a lot of colors. So I'm probably gonna do several videos with that one. But I love this color. It's that 90s, early 2000s concealer lip look. And yes, I know I'm not trying to blank out my lips. I will put gloss on it and do some things, but I think it's really pretty. See, at first it's like, wow, you're crazy looking. But I'm gonna soften it up. I'm kind of enjoying these kind of grayish tones for lip glosses, lipsticks. This one's more lipstick-like. It's like a, you can see through it a little bit. So it's not like a full opaque lipstick, but yeah. I'm gonna put the gloss that came with it. This is from the psilocybin collection also. The color is Delulu. The first one was Delirium. So Delirium and Delulu. And Delulu, when I got it, it had kind of this pink to green or blue, and it's mixed up since then. But I'm just gonna put it right on top because I like a good gloss. And there it is. I might actually throw on a little bit more of the liner because it seems to have disappeared. There it is. So I don't see a lot of people who do makeup on YouTube or influencers doing liner after, and that's actually how we used to always do it. So when I was coming up, we always put liner on after and gloss and lipstick on first, and I'm not sure why we would do one or the other. I just add it on after if it disappears when I put it on, lipstick. So yeah, that's my look for today. I'm gonna throw on my hat so you guys can kind of see how we look while we're working today. Yeah, so great to see you all here. Thank you for visiting today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of putting on your makeup with your fingers. Like I said, I didn't plan that, but it just happened in a pinch, and I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks pretty good. I think, you know, the foundation is good. I think the blush, bronzer, that kind of situation, concealer might be a little better with a brush. But yeah, in a pinch, you know, you do what you got to do. Eyeshadow worked out well without anything at all, any brushes. I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, so on that note, let me know what you think. If you have ever been stuck putting on your makeup without brushes, with just your fingers, if you've ever found yourself in that situation. If you did it, if you decided not to wear makeup that day, like what'd you do? Yeah, so go ahead and follow if you like it, if you like the video, if you like it, leave me a comment, let me know. I don't know, have you got any new palettes lately? I know a lot of people aren't buying a lot of new palettes, but a lot of people aren't putting out palettes. That's kind of why I've gone over towards the indie world for that kind of stuff, and they make some good stuff, and the prices are nice compared to what you're gonna get at Sephora or Ulta in the higher end stuff, and they are the same level quality wise. So yeah, I'll leave in the comments down below what I used today, where you can get it, all that good fun stuff. And I'm not sponsored by anybody, so everything I did today was just for me having fun with makeup. Hope you have fun with makeup too, and I will see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, ring that bell if you want to know when my videos come up. Bye guys, I'll see you soon.